the NFL. If the Madden ratings didn't hurt enough feelings for NFL players, the NFL polled its own players and put together a top 100 list. Notable rankings include Patrick Mahomes at number 4, Derrick Henry cracking the top 10 at number 10, Kirk Cousins ranking just below Jimmy G, and Carson Wentz didn't even make the list at all. Bart, I know you're really feeling this Kirk Cousins one. Did you think that they got the list right at all?
I mean, okay, so let me preface this by saying I'm not really in a position to dispute this because these are the players voting, and so like, how am I going to claim that I'm, no better than them? But with that being said, yeah, they kind of got it wrong. I mean, okay, I don't know. I mean, it goes both ways. I think like a lot of it's right, but I mean, like you said, Patrick Mahomes at number 4 is just such a question mark. I mean, who in their right mind would actually prefer to take Lamar Jackson right now over Patrick Mahomes as like the cornerstone of a new franchise? I think that blows my mind. Aaron Donald, I think, is the only player who could even make a claim for the number 1 spot other than Pat Mahomes, just because he's so dominant on the other side of the ball. But he wasn't even number 1 either. So, anyways, Derrick Henry as high as 10, like you said, also surprised me. In fact, CM13 or whatever. What's McCaffrey's number? Christian McCaffrey.
33.
Oh, 33. George Kittle being that high also surprised me just because I feel like they just don't actually affect the game all that much. And then Derrick Henry again at 10. I love Dalvin. I love the Vikes, but Dalvin is not the 3rd best running back in the league, especially with how injury prone he is. I don't buy that. Aaron Rodgers love at number 17. Get out of here. Players are praising him for what he used to be, not for what he is anymore. He is not that good.
Wow, that's
a hot take.
Yeah. Are you serious?
He's super efficient. Are you kidding me? He is so efficient.
Look at his numbers from last season and then get back to me.
Yeah, there was like, he only had like 4 picks.
But he was like middle of the road in all the volume stats.
Yeah, but like everybody was middle of the road. Everybody was middle of the road. Nobody had more than like 30 toucdowns last year.
He's not a game changer anymore. He's not a game changer anymore. He's more of a game manager now. Yes.
Jordan Love. Yeah.
I was about to say. I mean, I know their head coach just said that he expects to have Aaron Rodgers around for a while, but that, of course, doesn't make sense because they drafted him. I don't think Aaron Rodgers deserves that spot. Like you said, Kirk behind Jimmy G and behind who else? He's behind Dak as well, which, you know my thoughts on this. I talked about this a few weeks ago. And then the wide receivers lastly. The wide receivers were strange. Jarvis Landry was like really high up, and he's like really average now in my opinion since he came to the Browns. Metcalf and Cooper Kupp were also, all 3 of them were above Allen Robinson, who in my opinion is one of the best receivers in the league. The Bears just obviously don't get to use him fully because Mr. Trubisky is Mr. Trubisky, but I thought that was all kind of strange. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the players are voting. They probably know more than I do, but some of these things were a little strange to me. Yeah, what did you guys think?
It was a reactionary list. Like the fact that Lamar is number 1 and what was the other big one that was jumping out? Jimmy G, up there, George Kittle, like those, Derrick Henry in the top 10, like those are all just reactions to what happened last year, really.
But it was like,
is it the top 10 players? No, not really.
It was like a weirdly unbalanced reaction, though. Like the fact that your reactionary like impulses didn't lead you to like Pat Mahomes being the number 1 overall player is weird to me. Also,
well, it's because it was the year of Lamar.
He
won the regular season.
No, but he won the
Super Bowl. And Pat was injured like during the year too, so like he obviously didn't light it up stats wise. Also, within the nuance of the quarterbacks too, you guys have mentioned all these names, but Jimmy G being ahead of Dak to me is also weird. Like I know.
Why?
Like, no. Listen, I'm not a Dak fan, but like Jimmy G just literally made a Super Bowl, and that's it. He was not the driving force behind that Super Bowl team. He was such a game manager, and like Dak is not necessarily a winner, but if we're talking about like individual talent, I think Dak is clearly at this point in his career the better individual talent. Like I don't think
even close.
Oh my God. Wait, Dak led the league in passing yards last year. Come on.
I mean, you missed the playoffs, Jarod. Jimmy G made a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but give Jimmy G any coach who's not Kyle Shanahan, and he's not even on this list.
He did have a coach that wasn't Kyle Shanahan, and he went and he didn't lose.
Was he on the list though?
No, but he would have been if he was a full-time starter.
Game manager.
Jimmy G would have been. Bill Belichick was trying to replace Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, with Jimmy G.
Okay, but we've seen Bill Belichick work magic with quarterbacks too. That's also an edge case.
Yeah.
Give me another coach.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why George Kittle was in the top 10. Any tight end that you better be scoring multiple touchdowns. Like he had like 4 touchdowns last year. and like he was like 85th on receptions and all that stuff. Like
Yeah, but he can run block, Jarod. You know, he's a do-it-all tight end. So
oh
Exactly.
my gosh, don't give me that. If a tight end's in the top 10, it's got to be Gronk status. Like you're scoring 11 touchdowns in the season, not
He had
4.
5 touchdowns, Jared.
5. Sorry.
that
Well, over
changes
1,000 yards.
everything.
Come on. Huh?
He had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, but he was still like the 23rd in yards. Like what's his name? Kelsey had a better year than Kittle. So I don't know why Kittle was up there really.
Chiefs hate. There's like an anti-Chiefs like bias amongst all the players.
That's what I'm
There might
saying.
be. I think
People-
I do think that the players have an agenda when they put together this list and they pull it. Is that they won't admit certain things about players who beat them, and I think everybody knows that Patrick Mahomes is that good. I don't know why. Like I don't think people hate Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think that they. Like I think players know that they can't beat him, and they want to put like Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson up there, so that way they can say that they beat the number 1 and number 2 player.
That's another controversial one too. I put Russell Wilson at number 2 as being generous too. Like I think he's a top 10, top 15
He's top
player. 10. Yeah, but I think him in front of Mahomes, Aaron Donald, Michael Thomas, even like Stephon Gilmore, I think is generous to him in terms of like his game-changing ability. Again, I think he's a top 10, but I don't know if 2 is necessarily his correct position.
I agree on that front.
I don't know if I don't know. He was pretty transcendent last year. That's another question though. Is like, is this like purely them looking at one season, or is it like last season plus
it's
their
looking
whole career?
it's looking at last season.
Only?
They make
like
this
Russell
year.
Wilson,
Well, then-
Russell Wilson at 2 and Lamar at 1 and Mahomes at 3 or
Yeah,
whatever,
but like
4.
yeah,
That
but
doesn't
Tom
really make
Brady
sense,
being
though.
at 14 and
Right.
Aaron Rodgers being at 17. I agree with
No,
that.
they-
Some
Like,
people
they were
earn.
they were not as good last year. That's just based on their career to an extent. Like that's people not willing to.
It's lip
Wow.
service. Aaron Rodgers gets voted in the Pro Bowl nowadays because it's just name recognition. Same thing with players polling for him.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Also, shout out Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame, highest ranking offensive lineman at 29. Also, no respect for the Eagles. Their highest player was Fletcher Cox at 73, which I think is unfair to him. Ertz was 85. Carson Wentz didn't even make the list.
Yeah.
What do you think about Carson Wentz not making the list?
I mean, it depends. You know, I love Nick Foles more than I love Carson Wentz. But, like, I think, like, Carson Wentz in terms of, like, talent and quarterback is at least equivalent to, like, a Dak. And Dak was,
Oh my God.
if not better.
He's better.
I think he's better. And, like, so I don't know how you could leave him off the list, especially last year when he literally carried that team full of scrubs down the stretch to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Would you say he's worse than Josh Allen and Kyler Murray? Like, probably not, right?
No.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
That's pretty
Definitely not.
sketchy.
Yeah.
Do people just, like, hate Carson Wentz? Like, I know there was that article, like, 2 years
I
ago
do
where,
think that
like,
they do.
They probably
I think
don't
people
like
actually
that.
hate Carson Wentz.
They don't like that not the Seahawks, that the Eagles won without him probably. That like they didn't even need him that year. Basically, I
guess.
don't know.
I
I'm
know
sure
there was-
people hold that against him.
There was also an article like a year or two ago, I remember, where like apparently like the people in the locker room like did not like him. Like he was not well liked amongst his peers. And I don't know how that ended up turning out, but it's interesting if that is also showing itself here because
Got 0
You think
Philadelphia
Eagles
Eagle
players?
votes.
Yeah. Eagles players and let him in.
yeah.
I'm shocked that Todd Gurley though is at 51. After I don't know, this list just doesn't make any sense to me when I look at it. I think realistic, like for me, if I were to put together a top 10, I would probably put Aaron Donald at 1, Patrick Mahomes at 2, and then start from there and move into Lamar and then Russell. And by the way, Christian McCaffrey is number 22, not 33 or whatever that 19.
Oh,
or
I see. Yeah.
other
Yeah,
situations was.
I don't even know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the tough with the thing with Mahomes for me is like how much of him is Andy Reid. That's the only reason I could justify him not being number 1.
Now, when you
it's
throw
like-
50 touchdowns in one season, though, like that's not the coach. Like
Yeah.
that's talent.
Yeah, but last season he was at half of that, right?
But because he was hurt for
For a couple games, right? 3 or 4.
Yeah.
3.
but still.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
it
like
was a drastically different season. I mean,
also like
That's-
speaking of like
but
Andy
I'm
Reid.
saying, though, if it's only last season, well, then the list doesn't make sense. If it was merging previous seasons, then it also doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think Christian McCaffrey is a top 7 player. I would put him at 10 where Derrick Henry is. I like Christian McCaffrey. and I like that they put him in the Madden 99 overall club. Which, by the way, just a weird thing about Madden is Lamar Jackson's not a 99, but he's their cover athlete. He was the MVP, and he's the number 1 ranked player in the NFL, and he's not a 99 overall. How stupid is that, right?
What is he, 97?
I think he's 97 or something like that.
Right.
Jarod, I do think George Kittle is a top 10 guy.
Wow.
I don't think.
Why do you think that? Like, what's the case for him?
I mean, well, I don't think you can look at numbers in Kyle Shanahan's offense because they do a lot of like short dump offs, and then he has to go and run yards after catch. He's probably the best yards after catch tight end in the league. I mean, it proves that he has 1,000 yards. He's probably one of the best run blocking tight ends in the league. He's the most complete tight end you could ask for. I think he's a guy that he would thrive in any system, not just because of Kyle Shanahan.
Okay. All right, begs the question of like how useful though are good tight ends? Like,
that's a fair question.
If you're picking a team from scratch,
I think
you would take him over in the top 10. I don't know about.
I think a lot of. I don't think tight ends are so underrated in the NFL. They're probably outside of quarterback one of the most important positions, I would say.
But yeah, no, that raises the question though, Bart, of like, is this like say the NFL's a fantasy draft and you have to like pick, like who you would, or is it different from that? Because you'd think that if this were that, then pretty much everyone would be the top 10 would probably be mostly quarterbacks,
Yeah.
Like I agree that you wouldn't pick a tight end in the top 10 for sure, but I think it's like different than that.
Do the players even know what their criteria was?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Where's the rubric? Yeah, I want to see it. Yeah.
Maybe this is why players don't vote for MVPs. I don't know.
Well,
Also,
I mean, they would have gotten their wish, wouldn't they have?
Yeah. Nick Bosa is way too high. Just saying that right now. He has not earned a top 20 spot.
Wow, Ohio
17.
State guy too. Crossing the line.
Burning,
I'm not saying that. I mean, he's good, but I'm not gonna say. I mean, Chase Young probably gonna break the top 10 then next year if Nick Bosa is already that high.
You gonna book that? Oh, okay.
I'll book this. Chase Young breaks the top 15 according to player polls.
Okay.
He does. I'll say he ranks higher than Nick Bosa next year.
Next year. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Book that.
Okay.